Island's Claudia Jordan asking you to support a fellow Rhode Islander and check out Remi TV. That's right, Remi TV.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Maya, and you were tuned into Remi TV.
Hey you guys, your girl Tahiri, and I had an amazing time. Shout out to Remi TV.
What's up? It's your boy Slim 112. Hey, this is Remi TV.
What's up, y'all? This your boy PatrickTycoonJones. Y'all watching Remi TV.
Hey, what's going on? This your boy RL from NEXT. For the best interviews, local and international, check out my girl Remi right now, right here, Remi TV. Brother, baby. Peace.
What's up, y'all? This your boy Deron from 112 checking in. You already know what it is. You watching Remi
Hey, yo,
TV,
check this out.
where
This your boy
positivity
Happy
lives.
representing infamous Small Deep. And right now you watching Remi TV.
Hey, what's up, everybody? You're watching another episode of Remi TV. Today, I have a special guest. His name is PatrickTycoonJones. He has spent over 16 years in corporate America. He wears definitely a lot of different hats. He does marketing. He's an angel investor and a lot more. So thank you, Patrick, for coming on the show.
Thank you, Remi, for having me. I appreciate it.
So how are you doing today? I haven't seen you since the Business Expo.
That's right. That's right. No, I'm doing well. I'm here in Houston. Houston's providing me some phenomenal weather right now. So, no complaints. No complaints whatsoever.
That's awesome. So I have a question for you. Now,
Please.
PatrickTycoonJones, right? Now,
Yes,
tell me
yes.
about Tycoon. Did anybody give you that name? Is that your real middle name?
No, that's not my real middle name. My real middle name is Eugene. And Remi, I'll tell you, I've worn many different nicknames in my various phases of life, from Diddy to Tycoon. And Tycoon actually comes from me, like in my 20s. I had like umpteen different businesses. And, I call them learning lessons, right? And as we grew, then the businesses grew as well, and my ideas grew. So from that, I had a lot of acquaintances and friends. They call me the Tycoon. So I said, you know what, we're gonna roll with that. And now here we are. So that's that.
Cool. I did not know that. I was wondering about that. I said Tycoon, that's different,
Right.
So tell me a little bit more about yourself. Like, are you originally from Houston?
Right. So no, I'm actually originally from Illinois, a very, very small town by the name of Moline, Illinois. A lot of people know it as Quad Cities. And in the Quad Cities, it's notorious for John Deere, the tractor, because that's where, the John Deere headquarters and factory and plants are. So that's where I grew up. And from there, when it was time to start college, I went to Northern Virginia. And went to Northern Virginia, the community college, started working there. And then from there, I'm now in Houston in the Galleria area where I reside. So
wow.
I kind of, went place to place and found my home in Houston.
Oh, that's cool. So tell me a little bit about, what you did before joining in corporate America.
Sure.
What was life like for you?
Yeah. So I actually started in the corporate America when I was 19 years old. So I think I should take you back, right? It's only fair. So I was a teen parent at the age of 16. So, I actually ended up getting a basketball scholarship and decided not to take the basketball scholarship because the biological mother of my son, who I had at the age of 16, she actually passed away when my son was 11 months. So I didn't want my parents to take care of my son. They already fulfilled their obligations when it comes to raising me and my siblings. So I decided to opt out of my scholarship. And then from there, went to Virginia, enrolled myself into community college. And then I said, hey, look, I got to earn some money. I have my son. I got to do something. So there was one day I sat down. I actually got a book from Barnes and Nobles. This is when going to Barnes and Nobles was cool. I still think it's cool. But I actually got a sales book. And I remember my sister asked me, well, what is it that you want to do? And I knew I had to make money quick. And I knew I wasn't going down the illegal path. So I said, you know what? I want to get into sales. So I sat down one day and I submitted, I kid you not, I submitted 42 resumes to different corporate places. And there was this one company that ended up calling me. And at 19 years old, that's when I got my start. in the corporate game. And, you know, from then I never looked back whatsoever. So what was I doing? I was a kid. You know, I was a kid when I started corporate America. I was a kid trying to figure out myself, you know, having a son at 16, mother passing away. And so that's where I was, right? That was kind of the Patrick Jones early mind state before I got into the corporate place. So.
Wow, that is a crazy story.
Yeah.
That must have been hard for you.
It was hard. It was difficult, but, you know, for me, I live by 100%, you know, own everything, right? You control everything, the good, the bad, the ugly. So it was one of those things where it was a growing process for me, and being young, and a lot of people refer to me as young today, but, you know, being young and kind of going through what I went through, it caused me to grow up fast, right? And that's exactly what I did. I was about my business early, still about my business, and that's who we are, and that's the early mind state of Patrick. So.
Right. Wow. That's amazing, though, because a lot of people feel like it's easy to get in the doors, as well as while living, you know, it's just, I don't know. I feel like what you went through is really difficult, and I feel like people think that life is easy, that people just get the doors open for them and don't know the backstory behind what other people went through. So
right.
That's a lot.
Yeah, no, you're right. There's a certain mind state where a lot of people, they kind of see the glitz and the glam. You know, they may see the penthouses, the nice cars, jewelry, the aesthetics that people wear. However, what they don't understand is that path that I had to go through, or other individuals had to go through in order to get to that level that they currently live at and kind of operate at. But by no means, Remi, was it easy. It tested me every day. I wanted to give up every day, but I didn't. So here we are now.
Right. And what did you learn when you was working in corporate America? Like, what are some of the mistakes that you made?
Some of the mistakes? Oh, many. So I think the number one thing for me that I learned was to stay emotionally strong, right? You have to have thick skin because, you know, I'll draw back on my experiences. I remember, you know, in the corporate sales game in which I was in, and, you know, still in, to a certain degree at this point, there were kids, you know, that come from better schools, that had a better vocabulary, that were kind of all around and this is me early on, that I felt, you know what, they're more prepared than I am. They may even be better than I am. But what I learned to do is I learned to compartmentalize that and understand that I'm on a path, right? And the path that I'm on is unlike anyone else's. So, you know, I'm the individual in the driver's seat. And so as a result, you have to have thick skin, you have to persevere, you have to continue to push. And that's exactly what I did. Every day I showed up first and I was the last to leave. And my ultimate superpower was out hustling, out working the competition, point blank, period. There's no, hey, Patrick knew this person, or there's no Patrick grew up with a silver spoon. It was hard work, you know, not giving up and just being tenacious day in, day out.
That's right. And I tell people all the time, too, I'm like, you're procrastinating a lot. Like, what's happening here? You know, you say that you want to do this, and you took 3 weeks off, 4 weeks off. I think a lot of people quit because it's easier to do than staying in and going through what you go through, the emotional up and downs, the disappointments. But I tell people all the time, you got to stay in the game, you know, because you never know.
I agree.
You could quit today, and then tomorrow somebody could have picked you up or something, you know?
Exactly. And the number one thing, Remi, is a lot of people, they have to sit back and they have to assess themselves. And that's pretty much the hardest thing to do, is to, you know, keep it real with yourself. But a saying that I go by and that I always say is the worst person to lie to is yourself. So, you know, the man and the woman looking in the mirror every day, that's who you have to keep it real with, right? And so personal modification And assessing yourself day in and day out is one of the hardest things to do, but it's extremely necessary on this path to success. And that was something that I was always good at, is sitting back and assessing myself, my moves, my actions, my words, my thoughts, and being able to fine tune them to align with my aspirations. And as a result, you know, it's benefited me, it's benefited my family, but you have to keep it real with yourself.
That's right.
You have to. It's a must.
Tell me about QC Enterprises. Like, let me know,
Sure.
What do you do at QC Enterprises, and what type of services do you provide?
Right. So I'm in partnership with a gentleman by the name of Sean Killian, who has an extensive business background. And at some point in time, Remi, I'll have to introduce you to Sean. He's a great gentleman. However, QC Enterprises, it stands for Quad Cities Enterprises. And what we do is we're essentially angel investors. So what we're proactively doing is we're seeking out, you know, companies that may be in the concept phase of their business, right? They have an idea, they want to bring it to market, they want to build out a go-to-market strategy. And if we believe in their solution, if we believe in the people behind the solution, you know, we'll invest with them. And when we invest with them, what we're looking for is we're looking for a stake within their organization, part ownership, right? So that's one piece of QC Enterprises. In addition to that, we have another piece which allows for us to help an organization. Let's just say they may be doing $2 to $3 to $5 million in revenue right now. And they're not necessarily looking for angel investors, but they're looking for, you know, business gurus that will come in that have extensive background in kind of, you know, molding an organization for a point of sale. So we'll come in and we'll look at their books, we'll look at their go-to-market strategy, we'll help them redefine their strategy as they know it, and then package them up to sell or package them up to be acquired, whatever it is that their aspirations are. And that's a paid for service. And then sometimes we're also looking for an equitable stake in that as well. So that's exactly what we do.
Oh, that's cool. So, like,
Yes.
what kind of qualifications do you look for in startups?
Sure. So the qualifications that we're looking for is, first and foremost, what us angel investors, I should say, what Sean and I are looking for, we're looking at a vision, right? Because without a vision, no one really buys into it. Secondarily, we're looking at what are you bringing to the marketplace that people want? Is there a gap in the marketplace right now that you actually fulfill? And how are you advancing, whether it be, you know, technology, whether it be, you know, clothing, whether it be an app? How are you advancing how, you know, individuals kind of think, walk, and talk as it relates to the service that you're bringing the world, right? So those are the very high level things that we're looking at. Behind that, to take it a step further, you know, we're looking to see, what have you sold, right? How many units have you sold? Are you selling a SaaS solution? Is it an application? How many people do you have subscribed to your application, right? We want to know, are people proactively utilizing your service or your solution? And then we also want to understand, you know, what your run rate is, okay? From a financial perspective. And run rate, just so everyone knows who's viewing this, that's how much money are you putting into your organization on a monthly basis to operate your business? And then from there, what's your P&L? What's your profit and your loss? We also want to understand that. And so those are some of the things strategically that you should have set up, and you should have the ability to speak to, not just the vision, not just this is, you know, me, Patrick Jones, and please invest in my company, but we want to understand that you're actually functioning and operating as a wholesome entity. So those are some of the things that we're looking for at a very high level.
Okay, yeah, so that helped me a lot because, you know, I really didn't know much about angel investors and really how it worked.
Sure.
So basically a business or a corporation has to be making a certain amount in order for angel investors to be interested.
Not necessarily a certain amount, no. So I do want to correct that, and very good question. Not necessarily a certain amount, but what we want to do is we want to know that you actually have something that can go to the marketplace that's ready for the marketplace today. So what if we have to put together a go-to-market strategy? So what if we have to put forth a marketing plan? But is your solution ready for the big leagues, right? Is it ready for people to go and purchase right now? So not necessarily a certain dollar amount, but let's just make sure that it is go-to-market ready.
Oh, okay. And I know that when you invest in businesses, right, angel
Sure.
investors own a percent of the person's business.
That's correct.
Like, what's the percent amount usually? Is it like 10%, 15, or is it the amount depending on how
Sure.
much you give them?
Sure, good question. So, it can range, right? And that's all negotiation. Some organizations, and as we all know, all organizations, they're not created equal. So, we may sit back and assess an organization. We're like, you know what? We love the idea. They need a lot of help, right? They're at kind of the incubator phase, which is, the concept phase, idea phase, but we want to invest. So there we may negotiate a larger portion of the organization. In return, there's a larger chunk of change that we actually have to invest. So to answer that question, everything is a bit different. Right now, we're looking at some tech companies that we're looking to invest in. We're also looking at a couple of clothing companies that we're looking to invest in as well. So, that's all based on what they need from us and the value that we bring as well.
Oh, okay. That's cool. That's cool to know. Yeah, because I didn't know that. I didn't know how it worked. I'm still learning myself. So,
Yeah.
As far as like marketing, why is marketing super important, and how do you help companies reach a bigger market so they can expand and also gain some more money into the company?
Right. So marketing is extremely important. Without marketing, then how do individuals know who you are or what is it that you're bringing to the marketplace, right? So you have to have a solid marketing game plan that actually connects with your ideal consumer, right? Some organizations are selling B2B, which is business to business. Some organizations are selling B2C, which is business to consumer. So one thing that you as an organization should understand is, what's my target market and how am I going to appeal to the target market? So, some organizations out there are appealing to the younger sector, right? So teens up to, 25 years old. Some, entities out there, they're looking to market to businesses, right? Because they have a solution that the business can actually benefit from. So first, you have to understand that, and then you can work backwards. Okay, well now, how do I appeal to them to where they say, you know what? I want to give this organization a call to learn more about them. Or I want to try this particular product because it resonates with me and kind of my culture and what it is that I'm doing today. So marketing is extremely important. And that is kind of the lifeline. And I would say the tune that draws individuals or organizations to your company. So it's extremely important.
Right. And how can businesses find their target audience and their demographic that doesn't really have a major budget, to pay for like marketing?
Absolutely. So, that's what I really appreciate the music industry. And I kind of draw on what the music industry does, right? And if you're a new artist, okay, you have a street team most likely. And that street team is going out, handing out flyers, giving away free CDs, putting stickers up on billboards and things of that nature, right? So what you need to do is, if you don't have a large budget, that means you have to get creative, okay? And with creativity, that means that you're gonna have to fire up social media. You're gonna have to get creative there. There's digital marketing campaigns that you can run that are, pennies on the dollar. There's things that you can do that, for example, I run Camp Jones marketing as well. There's things that you could do. You could reach out to us and we can actually help build out a marketing plan for you that's extremely cost effective. But again, it's going to mean that you have to think outside of the box. And we understand that not everyone is kind of thinking outside of the box, but that's what you have to do. In addition to that, there are tools that you can utilize that will allow you to expand your footprint by casting a wide net, sending out, proactive email campaigns, sending out, SMS, which is text messaging campaigns, to inform people of, hey, I have this going on. Hey, my product's releasing on this website. Hey, we have a free launch of this particular app. Go and sign up now. So there's multiple things that you can do and multiple resources out there that will enable you to kind of play with the big boys and girls from a business perspective, but actually have a small budget. So.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, because your marketing company is called Camp Jones Marketing, right?
That's correct. Yes.
So would your company recommend TikToks for marketing?
Hey, look, if that's what you're doing, I'm all for it. Sometimes TikTok can be of benefit, but again, it depends on what your target audience is. Mm-hmm. If your target audience is, teenagers up until about, 30-year-old individuals, and it's business to consumer, then yeah, absolutely. Utilize TikTok. You have to utilize Instagram. If you're not doing that, then you're falling behind the 8 ball. So yes, in certain scenarios, I would definitely recommend TikTok, Instagram, social media, and just beating that social media drum. And after all, it's free, right?
Mm-hmm, that's right. So I know that, like you said, you do certain things for certain ages. TikToks are more for maybe 18 to 35 or something around there. So what do you recommend for businesses that's looking to reach a different demographic, maybe like 45 to 75?
Sure. Yeah, so what you have to do is, I always say work backwards. Where are the 45 and 75-year-old individuals that you're targeting? Where are they spending the majority of their time, right? Are they spending the majority of their time reading the newspaper, right? The physical newspaper? Are they spending the majority of their time on what websites? Are they spending the majority of their time in, what areas, what restaurants? What are the things that they frequent? And once you understand that, then you can effectively put forth a game plan and or a marketing plan to promote your services and or your businesses to them. But you should always start with, who is it? What's the demographic? What's the age? And where they frequent, okay? And then from there, where are they getting their information from, right? And then you can market and you can build your plan based on that information.
Okay, I'm gonna use some of that advice for myself.
There we go. Please do. Please do.
What do you think some of the biggest marketing mistakes are in businesses?
That's a good question. So let's just say that, you have a bag to throw at marketing, right? You have 2,500, we have 5,000, you have 10,000, or you have $100. And then the first thing that people do is, I want to go to Google and I want to promote on Google. Well, no. Is that the best use of your money, right? So I would say the number one mistake is not having a plan, thinking that you know something, not sitting down and talking to a professional and or a consultancy firm. And then next thing you know, you throw your money at something, right? Hoping a return, and then not really understanding what that something you just threw your money at is going to return, right? Because there's all type of analytics out there for you to make an educated decision, but are you making that educated decision with your hard-earned money? And what type of return do you want? That's the number one thing. And then, are your returns realistic? In business, I always say that you don't need to be realistic, especially when you're looking at and kind of creating your vision and your goals. But there is a realistic return based on the money that you put forth when it comes to marketing. So just make sure that you have a plan. That's the number one thing. And then make sure you work your plan and you plan your work. That's the second thing. And if you don't do that, then you're kind of operating in an aimless capacity, and it's not going to yield the type of results that you want.
Right, I agree with that. And I also see things like, you know, they'll get their hands on some money, and if you sell tires, they're going to an influencer on Instagram that sells hair or like combs or something like that. And I'm like, you sell tires, so that's the wrong influencer to.
That I was just talking to a woman in Rhode Island, and she has a phenomenal idea. She's bringing forth new product line for makeup and things of that nature. But, she was thinking of a similar thing. Well, let me go and let me team up with influencers. And I said, well, let's rethink that. Why can't you be the influencer? Why do you have to team up with an influencer? And she said, you know what? I never thought about it. So, there's different strategies. There's, different ideas. No strategy is necessarily the wrong strategy. But sometimes thinking outside of the box will benefit you tenfold.
Right, I agree with that 100%. And you have a YouTube channel, right?
I do. PatrickTycoonJones, yes.
Awesome. So tell us some of the things that you speak about on there, and how can people benefit from it?
Absolutely. So I do have segments. And as of right now, I have 11 segments. And on the YouTube channel, what I'm really trying to do is I'm trying to empower people. Trying to motivate people by giving lessons that I learned along the way in my career, and also just giving individuals different ways of thinking and kind of approaching life and approaching business and approaching success. Because a lot of individuals don't understand that typically the reason why they haven't hit their level of success is because what they're not willing to do is they're not willing to trade their current life, which is comfortable, for the life that they want. And 9 times out of 10, that's going to equate to a sacrifice. And most people aren't willing to sacrifice. So if I could actually drop a seed of knowledge to the next business owner, or, the next Mariah Carey, or, the next whomever, that's exactly what I want to do. And actually, it benefits me. I actually love helping people. And that's what I'm trying to do, is just, sprinkle a little bit of game out there for people to soak up.
I love that. Can you say your YouTube channel one more time?
Absolutely. It's PatrickTycoonJones, and that's spelled Patrick, Tycoon, Tycoon, Jones, Jones.
Awesome. So are you available for coaching, and do you do master classes as well?
Absolutely. Very good question. So yes, I'm available for coaching. Yes, I do conduct master class sessions. I actually conducted my first master class session about a month ago now, and it was successful. And I highly encourage, all of my tycoons, as I call them, please come subscribe. If there's, questions that you have, I'm only, and I give my number on the YouTube channel. I'm only a text message away. I'm only an email away. I'm only a phone call away. You can reach out via the phone number that I give on my YouTube videos. And then someone from my team, someone from my staff will reach out and get things set up. But absolutely, I do. And I look forward to having them.
Awesome. I love that. I'll be hitting you up because I need my coaching and my pep talk. So.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. We have to build, that. So
yeah, for sure. And you're writing a book, right?
I am. I'm actually in the early stages of writing a book. Early stages. I've been at it for about a year now. The book is titled Hustle. And what it does is it outlines kind of my mistakes that I made. It outlines things that I've learned that, were successful to me in the business world, not just the corporate world, but the business world. It also outlines, early life for me and my mistakes that I made there. And what it's aimed to do, it's actually aimed to empower people, to show them that if I can do it, you can do it. And, the only difference in between me and our viewers is I made a conscious decision. I made a conscious decision to turn my life around, and I wouldn't stop. right? I kept going. No matter the roadblocks, no matter the trials and tribulations, I kept it moving. And I kept building and I kept growing. And more importantly, I kept learning. So, you know, yes, I'm writing a book and I'm looking forward to it.
That's awesome. I'm looking forward to reading that book too. So let me know. You could come back on the show and you could tell us all about your book. Maybe even do a book signing or something like that when I do another expo, because I'm going to be planning that soon. And we'd love to have you come back.
There we go. No, I look forward to that. I do.
Yeah.
I feel as though that there's a lot of gems to be bestowed, and I can't wait to get the public's feedback. I'm looking forward to that.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Patrick, I want to thank you so much for coming on my show. It was a pleasure having you.
Love,
so yeah, we'll be seeing you again in the future.
Absolutely. Hey, it's love, Remy. I greatly appreciate you. Thank you for opening the doors. And I look forward to doing it again.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Everybody check out Patrick. Say your social medias one more time and your YouTube and the name of your companies as well.
Absolutely. So the name of the company's QC Enterprises. In addition to that, Camp Jones Marketing. And then social media is PatrickTycoonJones on Instagram. And then my YouTube channel is PatrickTycoonJones. So there's a coincidence there, right? But we try to keep it simple for the people.
Dope. Thank you so much again. Everybody go and check him out. Check his YouTube out. Stalk him. Listen, send him emails. Get the coaching happening. Get your marketing. Matter of fact, before you even hit him up with marketing, please have a budget. And all that good stuff.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Remy, I appreciate you. Thank you very much.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much. You guys, this is another episode, and we will see you next time.